everybody, Brandon Jones here, Warcraft fan. I got Kyle Bossman.
I love trailers.
And Warcraft? You like Warcraft, Kyle?
I love trailers more than Warcraft.
I'll take it. I probably like trailers more than Warcraft, but I like Warcraft a lot. Matt Blair likes Warcraft.
I too like Warcraft, yes.
Thank you for joining us, sir.
Thank you for having me.
A trailer score newbie. But a passionate trailer lover at the same time. I played a ton of World of Warcraft, and we're getting all sorts of fun, exciting news coming out of BlizzCon. We had two big trailers, I think, coming out of BlizzCon, both Warcraft-related, one for the official film and the other for Legion, the next expansion pack coming to World of Warcraft. I am not going to play Legion. I did not play Warlords of Draenor, not because I don't think they're great, because I do not have time to invest in these. And I like this trailer more than the movie trailer, and I would like to tell you guys why.
My son, a terrible darkness has returned to our world.
So one of the issues that I had with the movie trailer, not to make comparisons, because how could you? My goodness. I mean,
No,
it's
feel
a
free.
movie versus the thing.
Why
But
not?
like, the movie trailer to me, one of the issues that I had, if you can watch the other videos, they don't name anybody. We don't really establish like who these characters are. We can tell who the king is. We can tell who the leader of the orcs are. Everyone else is just an orc or a human. And they don't name the people in this. They really count on you knowing who King Varian Wrynn is and knowing who Sylvanas Windrunner is. But we really spend time with this king. I mean, even if you don't know him, even if you don't know who his son is or all the crazy stuff his son has been through, you can feel the weight on this guy's shoulders. And I think it's so easy to play up, it's like, oh man, how many expansions have we had now? It's just like another conflict. This seems like a big deal. This seems like he's being honest with his son and himself. I'm scared, I don't think I'll make it out of this. If I don't make it out of this, I don't know what's going to happen to you in the world I'm leaving behind. I don't know what the stakes are. I mean, we see this airship just get completely ruined. It's just like, maybe there was another better battle plan. I don't know. I think the first time they get attacked, one of the engines goes out, and you're like, well, nice attack. I don't know if it's the same airship that was in Wrath of the Lich King, but like these airships have been featured prominently in the expansions before. So there's just a lot if you're really into the World of Warcraft to hang on to here. And I just think it carries so much emotional weight. Unlike the Warlords of Draenor intro, which like you kind of did have to know a lot about understanding like why that was important, that it wasn't just you going back in time and seeing something. You're seeing history change, and you're seeing things turn out the way that they didn't in Warcraft lore. In this, you don't know what's happening. You don't know. When at the end they kind of tease that Ryn's not going to make it out of it, and I was like, oh, whoa, that's a huge thing to release in a CG trailer that the king dies, and it's like, oh, well, no, who knows? I also get the vibe that this is setting up the expansion, that when you get into the game and you finally get to this new realm that's going to be opened up in World of Warcraft, you'll hear about this. You'll hear about, like, why did Sylvanas specifically, why was she the one that teamed up with the king? Did the king make it out of it? Like, how rewarding would it be if you finally got to that realm and there's the king on the shore with his hair wet? It's like, come on! And like, it'd be great. The best CG trailers, I think, for Warcraft are ones that show you something that you can then take into the rest of the story and applies context to the narrative that you're going to have in the game. And it is gorgeous. They just it's easy to just kind of take that for granted, but wish the game looked this good. Wish the game could ever look this good. Kyle Bossman.
I think this would have been a good trailer if it ended just with the green spire and the ships moving toward it. And then suddenly that green rock monster smashes through the ship, and I'm like, oh, this trailer's on a whole other level. At that point, it's just like, oh, this is like the stakes are real right here in this trailer. I freaking, and then just like the propeller going into the elves ship and tearing that apart, and just everything going wrong right here in the trailer. It's all cool. It's I always say the best thing for an expansion, and a trailer for an expansion, the best thing you can do is make your expansion feel like an event, and this pulls that off completely. It makes whatever is happening here feels like an event that is historic, like a huge thing is going down. And that's a hard thing to convey. And they pulled it off with a CG trailer. I really dig this trailer.
You played Warlords of Draenor, right, Blair?
A bit, yes. To be honest with you, I was always Horde only, so there's probably some events here that I don't even recognize. But I didn't even spend enough time in there to actually recognize like the things leading up to this, if there was anything. I doubt there was. But for the most part, the intro cinematics / trailers that they put out for these things are always, like you said, Kyle, setting up an event and then actually going and playing that event, knowing that that's how WoW works, certainly helps me with this trailer. It helps me to know that there's some crazy stuff going down, and I'm going to be able to go and see the direct ramifications, if not join in on those moments. World of Warcraft has always been good at that, so historically speaking, I kind of agree. It has that weight to it because of the history of the way that they've done this, and it's nice to see that they haven't changed things too much. The epic feel, I kind of I agree with you in that it was a lot more alluring and focused until things started going wrong. But I'm kind of wondering, is it a little bit too focused as a trailer? I know it's an intro cinematic and everything, but when it's released as a trailer, you start to kind of wonder, it's like, is this going to do well to get people interested into WoW, or is this only for people who were already there that they need to come back? Without kind of doing names and explaining how these people came together and where exactly this stuff is going down, things of that nature, it is very specific to fans of WoW. So that's the only thing that I mean, is that even a knock against it, really?
Well, I mean, he never actually says the words Burning Legion. You know, he doesn't actually set up, like, who they are or that this is an enemy that you should be familiar with Warcraft. I don't know, might be a stretch, but one of my favorite Warcraft trailers was the original trailer for Warcraft 3, where you see an Infernal, right? Is that those, the green guys?
The original super cinematic trailer, when the armies are rushing.
When Orc and a human are fighting on a battlefield, and then the sky opens up. And you're like, what? And the Infernals come out.
You see them coming down, but I don't think you see them walking around.
One like stands up and then screams, and that's the end of the trailer. And then you see both the orc and the human got it destroyed. And so the whole point of the trailer is that, like, we were too busy fighting each other that we should have been banding together to fight whatever threat came to actually destroy the entire world. And having one of those things jump on the ship, I don't know if it's a call out, but it's just like an interesting to see established things that you're familiar with being brought up and see them fight and see characters do things you don't normally see them. You know, most NPCs in Warcraft are just standing there, and so it's like nice to see. I mean, even if you don't know the story, how great is it to see a king be the first person into battle? You know, like to just get out on the beach there and be like, if I can't hold my own in battle, you know, who am I to tell my troops to?
Dude, his expression right before they crash
is great. Yeah.
It's so intense. This is an intense trailer.
I think because it is isolated, I think because, while I have issues with the Warcraft movie trailer, I think that could sell a lot of people on the prospect, on that project, whereas, like, I think this is going to pull people out, 10 seconds into it that aren't into Warcraft, because, like, oh, okay, this is clearly, a very specific story that they're trying to tell.
I don't think that's fair. Me, who knows nothing about any of these characters' names.
You're still into it?
Yes.
Well, then, why don't you score it first, Kyle? I'm curious what you're going to give the score.
Oh, ouch. Yeah. So I'm going 9.3, minus 0.5, of course, because it tells you to pre-purchase at the very end of this.
Do you think that's a YouTube thing, or do you think that's a video thing?
The YouTube thing is like that guy who says level me up to level 100 for like.
Oh, but they slip one in before that.
They slip one in before that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah,
little flavor text in there. Yeah.
Yeah. So what? We're at 8.8 after that. My only knock against it is the voiceover. Is good when it's narration. I don't like it when he's just like fire. And at the very end where he's like, let's charge. Because, like, if you're saying fire on a flying airship with cannons, you need to be shouting it. And sure. I want that intensity at that moment. I really want that. And instead it's kind of like a dramatic reading of, like, let's go get them, boys. When it's, like, needs to be, like, shouting that. Because, just everything communicated in this is just communicated so well. I dig the music. I dig the direction. I'm really way into this trailer.
Interesting that you would score it. I was going with an 8.6.
Sure.
I think I'll still settle on that. Only because I have seen some Warcraft trailers for expansions that got right into my soul. It was just like, they're speaking directly to me. And I think, case in point, the Arthas, the Wrath of the Lich King trailer is the best trailer they've ever released. And it did such a good job of, like, here's the expansion, here's his character, here's other things you don't know about the character, here's other things on top of that, like his dad talking to him, you get to see his army, you get to see his dragon, it's just kind of like all the elements there, really connecting you to, like, why this story has weight. And I do get a bit of a vibe from this trailer. It's just like, another thing. Here we go, everybody. It does kind of feel like there's green people. We got to fight them. Like I would like a little bit more for people that don't know, just to kind of set up that, like, this stuff doesn't just happen in Azeroth every day. I mean, although it seems like it.
I think I have arrived at an 8.6 as well. I would have liked to hear a little bit of dialogue from Sylvanas, because that's an established character that they didn't really take advantage of. But for the most part, it rustled my Warcraft jimmies a little bit, And having been, like, a fan of this for a really long time, it almost doesn't matter who these people are, because you kind of get the basic idea of what's going down, and I think that's all they really needed to do to get me into it, at least a little bit. So having it be focused is a big deal for me. It strikes a very specific chord, and it didn't try to do too much. So I enjoyed it.
8.7 is the aggregate trailer score for the debut of the CG trailer, assuming the opening cinematic of World of Warcraft Legion,
Which is higher than the movie trailer.
Which is higher than the movie trailer, and God, I love that. You know, that's so great. Like, I love trailers. I don't want game trailers to win out over movie trailers. Like, I always want all of them to be great. But the fact that, you know, here's a Warcraft movie I am going to see, and I thought trailer was okay. And here's the expansion that I am telling you right now, there is no chance in hell I'm going to play this, and I'm sold. You know, I think it's really great. It has a lot of weight to it. But really good points brought up, and I'm glad that you were here, Blair, to give us your Warcraft knowledge and passion and going into the score. 8.7 is the score. Thank you, Kyle. Thank you, Blair. See you next episode.